Collective, we are back with another message for all of my collective. TT here, your family psychic medium. We're going to see what message coming out for you today. So we got technology, 11th house. Okay, so this is the balance of your work life and balance of your relationships. Okay. This is also talking about your highlighting your relationship that you have with your mother. Okay. So based on the relationship that you have with your mother during this time, you may have a love-hate relationship with the domestic role. Okay, especially if you grew up in households where you had to grow up really fast, or like the torch was passed to you or the baton was passed down to you, and then you had to take care of like younger siblings, especially for households where you grew up in big families and things like that. Those type of where you're groomed to be domesticated, you're groomed to be obedient. Let me turn this down. Like groomed to be obedient, groomed to be listen. And this male or female doesn't matter, right? You may have been, left with the responsibility to care for your younger siblings and stuff like that, and hold the house down while your parents work. But it seems like this is like middle school, high school, and as a way of like paying it forward or saying thank you, you just don't say anything, even if you don't want to do it. It's like you just get up and go get the remote, right? Get up and get the remote, give it to them. But now that you're an adult, there's something about demonizing you or telling you like you're not gonna go to heaven, or like God is going to be upset at you because now you can't jump to their aid, or you can't jump and stop whatever you're doing in your life to go and be there for them, and guilt tripping you. So this may be why you keep to yourself, but I do feel like it's gonna be highlighted. A lot of your times where you may have acted out, whenever you did act out, it was because of that type of control. This may also be why you struggle with being domesticated, even in a marriage or a relationship. You may genuinely hate it. You know what's interesting with 11th house here, because 11th house is Aquarius, Uranus, Saturn. Okay, so it's like, I'm coming out, your debut into society. Okay, the reputation that you get out there is different from the one that you have at home with your parents. You get to be someone different where you are with your friends, your colleagues, your social circles. It's like that may be like who you really are. And then when you dealing with like friends and family, you may struggle with you may struggle with like a maternal figure, a mother figure. And so your outlook on domestication may be a little bit differently. And then you know what too I'm getting? Let's say, for example, that you grew up in a household where the maternal figure in your household, they did everything for you. You know what I'm saying? You could have grew up in a house like that where they did everything for you. And so you feel obligated and responsible to care for a mother figure. Even though, y'all are grown and stuff like that, there could be like some guilt tripping in that. Even if they're not telling you that, you may feel like they sacrificed their whole youth, their whole life to make sure you had everything you've ever wanted. That's not for everybody, of course. And so your outlook on domestication may be like, that's my role to provide and take care of. But maybe as a grown adult, you're still caring for and providing. Like there's no space in that type of dynamic. There would be no space for you to marry or have a relationship, because your mother is still holding the space in your life as your spouse. So you can't even cleave or cling to anyone because that mother figure is dominating that role. And so you're still trying to make your mama proud. Okay, for those in that dynamic, where it's the flip side, you may be trying to get your mama to stop being shading you and hating on you just because you have your own life now. So there's something about you have developed some type of skill. You're really good at something. You're the first to do something. in your bloodline. And I feel like you really want to see everybody succeed. You want everybody to have a happy home, happy life, happy family. You want to see your friends doing well. You want to see all your social groups doing good. Like, you really believe that everyone can shine. Like, not just you, but everyone can possibly shine and have the spotlight. Like, you're really that type of guy, that girl. Um, the Hermit. Like, you know what it takes to get to that point. And you know what I'm getting with Venus in the first house? This is like saying you have Venus in Aries. Ooh. I don't know. Okay, so we have rulers of beauty, love all life pleasures, nice and more naturally attractive. Nicer and more naturally attractive. People are completely drawn towards you. Beautiful faces always receive compliments, may tend to overcare what people think of them physically. So something about your physical aesthetic or your physical reputation may play a very significant role. And like, maybe it's hard for you to determine whether people are around you because they genuinely like what you have to say, or your skill or your talent, or if they're just telling you what you want to hear because they're enamored with your beauty, with how attractive you are. And that may tend to lead to jealousy. I am picking up a very strong message, collective, of what's being healed right now, what's being brought to the light is like, some of you guys have a mother figure that feels like you stole all their beauty, or you stole all of their, what they would have been in life if they didn't have you. And so if you have a situation where a mother figure gives you like backhanded compliments, or they're very shady, or they always say like, yep, that's the price I pay to bring you into this world, and you be like, oh, I'll always be there for you, I'll always take care of you, I'll always love you. In the back of their mind, they're like, can you give me back my life? Whether they say that to you or not, there's just something like that. That's coming to the light, collective. Damn. This cycle is closing. I feel like you're going to discover where the source of this comes from, and you're going to close that chapter in your life, and you're going to walk with confidence. And moving forward, you're going to handle people differently, especially people that are very judgmental of you, and they manipulate or use situations to kind of like, it's like guilt tripping you to get ahead in life. Codependent relationship. You show up for everybody, and I feel like right now you're in a space where you're just pulling back entirely. And the reason why you're pulling back entirely is because when you know better, you do better. And I feel like you genuinely know better now. And you know that this is someone that's been using this as a way to control you. Especially if you still, like, no matter how old you are, you still call your mom or something like that to get relationship advice, or just advice in general, because naturally the person that's always been there for you your whole life is, you wouldn't think that they would ever be like against you, but I feel like you were spot on when you were younger, and they haven't changed. This seems like when you were younger, you kind of like went off and did your own thing. You went and created your own safe environment, your own safe family, your own nest, and you just moved away. Something about moving away in location as well is significant. Like, something may have started as well as you just wanting to know, why is it like that, And I think you're gonna stop asking why is it like that, and understand that you were born into a family that was gonna prepare you for your destiny. And so they had to be what you needed and not what you wanted. And you have to be okay with letting go of what you once believed it should have been. And once you accept that it was what it needed to be to prepare you for your destiny, you'll stop mourning the past. You'll stop mourning the ghost. Okay, we have trickster energy. Yeah, that is the biggest trick that was ever performed on you. Pioneer, to make you play small. This says in the shadow attribute, my battery's trying to die. In the shadow attribute, it says compulsive need to keep moving on. Okay. There's something about it, something that you're supposed to claim. There's something that you're supposed to claim to close this chapter. Transcending convention, stiffness, and predictable behavior. So when you, like, the more you see this behavior, the more someone acts a certain type of way, it's like, I know this so well. I know it's like the back of my hand. I can't be tricked. Even when I see the pattern come up, it won't trigger me. Okay? You're meant to conquer self-mastery and how you respond to these situations. Because I feel like when you felt this trickery going on, you would quickly like leave. Some of y'all may have left home very young, 12, 13, teenagers, or you just have this desire like, I gotta get out of here. They may have wanted you to sit down, be still. You was like, I just feel too much manipulation here. You were very sensitive. And so it's like, I have to move on. I have to move the country. I have to move the state. And you could have been like someone that stayed away from home forever. Okay? Because you just felt the presence of a big ass bully blowing smoke up your ass. And so like now that you've done a lot of healing work on yourself, I feel like you're going to accept that this is a trick. I understand that this is the pattern, and naturally I would want to run away from it, but I'm going to be able to use the knowledge that I have and it's like a boundary where you're like, okay, nope, I'm not going to move. No, you're going to leave because you're in my territory now. I told you, mother. It literally says mother. Mother. Hold on, sorry. Get the shit out of me. Okay. It says mother in the shadow, smothering or abandoning children, instilling guilt in children for becoming independent. This is what you had to deal with, bro. Instilling guilt to remain like this matriarch or this hierarchy. That's fucked up. I just described all of that shit, collective. This is a big mother wound that's healing during this time, collective. Big one. Big one. Interfering with your love life, your relationship. Some of you guys are gonna never speak to your mother again. Envy. I'm telling y'all, your own mother was like envious of you, male or female, even envious and jealous of anyone that you've ever dated. Envious of your discipline, envious of how much bright ideas you have, your growth, how you change, how you don't hold resentment, how you are able to make friends, how you can break addictions. Like, you have a mother figure, a collective. Y'all have a major mommy wound. Okay, major. What's coming for my collective? Major mommy wound. Playing it safe. Like, you're done. You're done never leaving the reef. You're cutting this attachment. You're like, you've kept me small forever. You tricked me. You manipulated me. Look at that. I'm going to go after my happiness. And I'm going to have my arms stretched out. I'm going to go after what I love. And some of y'all guys, like, someone could have told you, like, I understand that you love someone, but love is more than love is just love is more than an infatuation. You got to be able to show up. You got to be able to commit. And all of those different things was making you like, damn, can I commit? Damn, am I enough? Like, making you doubt yourself. And so, like, she did that on purpose. So you wouldn't have something special. You wouldn't have something unique. That's fucked up, man. You wouldn't believe you were capable. And here you have your heart telling you you love something, you go after it. Stability, it will all work itself out. It will anchor itself in that love. Blossom in abundance. Blessings will flow to you because you listened to your heart. You didn't ignore it. Someone tried to trick you out your own spot, make you go down a different path. Because you had a mother figure that wanted to remain like the number one person in your life, and they didn't want you to grow up, to have a solid foundation, because they didn't have it. It's like someone being a little envious and jealous of you that you found something very special and something very rare, and because maybe their relationship didn't work, or their relationship split up, or they separated in some way, somehow. And so as far as they're concerned, I need that same outcome in all your relationships, so that way I can feel like we're always going to be attached to each other. You're always going to need your mama. Anyway, these are the messages that I have for you guys. Let's talk about it in the comments, okay? Love y'all. Bye.